In the latest chapter of Jujutsukaisen, Yuta has pulled up to the battlefield to fight Sukuna. I would like to hype him up here by saying he's our last hope, but for some reason Maki is nowhere to be found, so she might actually be our last hope. Actually, it probably will be Yuji, and maybe even Hikari. Whoa, let me not get ahead of myself here. Regardless, the Queen of Curses versus the King of Curses is about to take place. This is a very poetic face-off, and I feel like this is where the tides start to turn for the good guys. It's kind of easy to predict Sukuna will just kill everyone every week or win his confrontation with anyone he fights, but at some point this guy has to start losing. And who better to start that than the current strongest Jujutsu sorcerer himself, Yuta Kotsu. Yes, I know up until this point it seems impossible for Sukuna to actually lose, and he might actually be the MC, but he has to, and his downfall starts with Yuta. By the way guys, before we continue, this is the second JJK video on the channel. Thank you guys for the support on the first one. If you want more JJK vids, subscribe to the channel and let me know by also leaving a like. So firstly, I want to mention one key theme of this battle and why it will be centered around love. And me explaining this is going to give credence to the fact that Yuta will not get one shot and why we most likely will see this fight go on for some time. In Sukuna's fight against Yorozu and more recently with Kashimo, we get to see a deeper understanding of Sukuna's ideology with love. Sukuna states love is worthless. The thought of needing someone to fulfill him never crossed his mind. He says, I will kill who I want, eat what I want, I will live accordingly to my own stature. If that can be understood or measured, that is not my problem. Why this is so important in this battle is because Yuta's entire character directly opposes Sukuna's ideology about love. Meaning, it's very possible we can see Yuta trying to showcase Sukuna how powerful the curse of love really is through his connection with Rika. In the Jujutsukaisen universe, it seems like love fuels almost everything. In chapter 247, it is said curses get stronger after death, and in chapter 236, it is said curses can be fuel for life. We've seen examples like this with Yuta himself when Rika allowed him to surpass his limits against Geto and defeat him. It is also said that love is the most twisted curse of all. Yuta's love for Rika didn't let him comprehend or accept her death, resulting in him actually cursing her instead. Maki having to sacrifice her sister to allow her to awaken into her true power. Love is essentially what gave birth to Rika in the first place, and she's now known as the Queen of Curses, the strongest curse spirit in JJK. Love is also the reason why Yuta was able to let Rika be free. Yuta has experience with the power of love and fights alongside it, and it would make the most sense for him to attempt to oppose this ideology to Sukuna while showing him how strong it can make a person. Who even knows, Inumaki, or most likely Maki, will fight alongside Yuta in his domain, so she won't get registered by Yuta short hair and she'll jump Sukuna with him. And Maki getting hurt can give him a power boost, since in the past he made it very adamant he wants to fight and protect his friends. So for everyone who thinks Yuta is going to get one shot next chapter, it's kind of insane. In my opinion, this whole scenario is going to play out and it's going to be a bigger thing. Speaking of Yuta letting Rika go, there's a possibility of Yuta making a binding vow in order to let Rika use her maximum power, since Rika could be their best shot at fighting Sukuna. Hold up, I know that sounds crazy, but just show. Yuta completely letting go of Rika via a binding vow, operating similarly to Miwa like she did against Kenjaku. This definitely does have some plot holes, since he already let go of cursed Rika, and this is basically a Shikigami copy of her, but specifically following Miwa's words, putting everything into that moment, his future and present, even if it means he will never use Rika again for a power boost, might not be the craziest thing. But that was just something I want to throw out there, so don't look too deep into it. So moving on from all this love stuff and looking at it as a battle, Yuta actually has to be able to perform in his battle against Sukuna. I don't think he will be the most effective fighting close combat even with Rika against Sukuna, because the man has 4 goddamn arms, and we've seen what he was able to do to someone like Kashimo. He literally grabbed both his arms and then sucker punched him with the other 2. But luckily, Yuta is withholding the strongest ability a sorcerer can use, known as domain expansion. I think it's safe to assume Sukuna isn't able to use domain expansion because of his brain still being fried from Gojo's infinite void. It hasn't been made very clear from Gege. It seemed like he recovered all his injuries, but those eternal brain injuries might still remain. Logically, I don't know if this necessarily makes sense, but narratively it does, because if Sukuna was able to use his domain expansion, no one would be able to fight him right now, and everybody would get cooked by his malevolent shrine. and it's probably set up this way so that Higuruma was able to have that whole scenario with Sukuna where they fight against him with the executioner sword. So logically, in my opinion, this is where Yuta would be able to use his domain expansion. I was always of the belief of Yuta showcasing his domain against Sukuna in this state, and also because I wasn't too sure of Yuta being able to win a domain tug of war against Kenjaku if they were to fight. Since Kenjaku's domain is barrierless and hard for anyone not named Sukuna or Gojo to really win a domain battle against him. The fact that Gege managed to hide Yuta's domain expansion for the entire series gives him the opportunity to do whatever he wants with it. He can make it as strong as he wants, as broken as he wants. As for theories of what his domain expansion will be, I have no idea. The most common theory is probably related to Rika, him either fusing with her or creating several versions of her. I don't know. Regardless, Sukuna should have a hard time avoiding Yuta's Sure Hit effect, which I expect to be lethal, unlike Hikari's or Higuruma's, making Yuta a key factor in this fight. But not only this, there's also the added fact that Yuta must have got significantly stronger in the past month. The students, including Gojo, have partaken in some elite training to prepare for the assault against Sukuna. Gojo confirms this when he mentions that he's partaking in some special training in the beginning of the battle against Sukuna. As soon as we come back from the time skip, we instantly see Yuji training against Kusakabe, and in the latest chapter, it's revealed that Yuji was able to learn reverse curse technique in that 1 month. I expect Yuta to have a high growth rate as well, where he can also grow significantly stronger in that time frame. Maybe not equal to Yuji, of course, since he has that main character love, but even someone like Hikari, Mr. Jackpot, I'll heal everything, best RCT, you guys get it, had bandages all over his face while watching Sukuna versus Gojo, signifying he had been fighting prior. I expect everyone to show something new and be overall stronger, and that most definitely applies to Yuta the most. Let's not forget that Yuta has the potential to grow in battle. Although Yuta wasn't said to be as talented as Gojo and learn at the same rate as Higuruma, who got compared to Gojo, he's still a prodigy that has the potential to surpass Gojo one day. There's also the possibility of Yuta obtaining Cleave and Dismantle. I know you guys all see the memes, but it's actually a possibility, since Higuruma stabbing Sukuna's hand with the executioner sword resulted in him chopping his own hand off. Theoretically, if Rika can find this hand and eat it, he can obtain Cleave and Dismantle. The creativity and possibilities with this fight, I'm not gonna lie to you, at this current moment, it seems kinda limitless. I can see him going down plenty different routes. I'll actually be shocked if Gege has Yuta get one shot or get the Kashimo treatment. I might sound like I'm coping, but at that point, Gege just killing guys off to make his story more edgy or some shit, try to be different. I don't know, but that shit would not be cool. I'm gonna be honest. That's it, guys. I just want to talk about this latest chapter and what's going to happen moving forward with Yuta. Let me know what you guys think, and don't just tell me, oh my god, Sukuna is going to beat him, because that is a fact. Yuta will not beat Sukuna by himself. He's either going to get jumped or he will lose and someone will save him. But that's it, guys. Have a good night or good day, morning. Peace.